Hey everybody, welcome back to Loren the Amazon Princess. I am RPGatWill. I'm gonna check out the castle first. Saren and Loren walk up to Commander Breza. You remain, Your Highness. Have you reconsidered claiming the title of Queen? Absolutely not. I'm preparing for my journey. I don't know how long I will be gone, but my hope is for not very. Of course. You seem suspiciously eager to forget Queen Karen. How dare you! You are a slave! You speak when you are spoken to! Silence, he's speaking in my interest. I'm surprised in you too. This is your queen you are dismissing so easily. Do not forget that she will return, and will hear of your actions to rescue her. Yes, Majesty. I meant only to enforce Amazon traditions, not to dishonor Karen. Queen! Karen! Moments earlier, Breza had been singing his praises, but now there was an uncomfortable air between them. Oops! Let's check out the shop. What is this? What is all this? Let's check her out. What does she got? I've got 5,000 gold, huh? Okay. Let's see what bows I've got. That one does a little more damage, but it's not very good. Okay. Now for you. Ooh. No, that's a two-handed, though. One-handed. I think I'm gonna stick with what I got to start with, just to play it safe. Review your party setup before proceeding. I will like Amazon Princess in the front row, and I would like Saren in the back row. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Let's do it. Yeah. Upon seeing Saren approach the front gates, Loren demanded an immediate departure. They would leave the security of the citadel and cross the plains of Erevorn to search for her mother, no matter how long it took to find her. The first place to visit was the town of Grimoire, the human empire. Saren's first goal was to reach the city of Grimoire, the capital of the human empire, but it was a dangerous road plagued by goblins and bandits. When they arrived, however, they would be able to begin their investigation. Okay. We got this. Loren and her ally were walking down a road in the middle of the plains en route to the town of Grimoire. Even though Loren was quiet, Saren knew she was thinking only of saving her mother. The only clue we have is that my mother's guards have disappeared as well. If we find them, then we find my mother. That is a good plan, Your Highness. Their relationship was as one might expect between a servant and royalty. Saren quietly followed the princess and would only praise and agree with her when given the chance to speak. He was used to being less formal, but then he had never served royalty before. Loren noticed nothing about this behavior because she was quite used to it. This is the only way out from the citadel, so the queen must have passed by here. It would be very helpful if there were any witnesses to unusual activity. But, Your Highness, may I ask you a question? Loren glanced at him with a frown. This was the first time he had dared to speak out of turn. If you must, but I cannot promise that I will answer. Why aren't we using a griffin to travel now? They're faster than walking and much safer. You fool, aren't you aware of the laws of my people? Saren took a step back, fearful for his life. For the most part, yes. My choice to leave the citadel took away my privileges. The griffins are not allowed to me. Couldn't you change the laws? As queen, but I am not queen. My mother is. I see. I'm sorry that I asked, Your Highness. Now you know. Don't forget it. I guarantee I shall not, Your Highness. They traveled most quiet through the day, until it faded into night. The land ran flat with the sparse boulders along the path. This looks like a good place to camp. Loren, however, did not stop walking and continued on without a word. Your Highness! Keep up! Saren sprang up from the ground where he was about to start a fire and hurried after her. Loren seemed prepared to travel a lot further that night. Saren steeled himself for a long walk, but he found it more and more difficult to keep his position behind Loren. She was beginning to walk much slower. Loren's feet were dragging against the ground rather than proudly stomping ahead like earlier in the day. Saren knew that Princess Loren was tired. We should stop for the night and make camp. My mother is out there waiting for someone to save her. That someone is me. Loren was not going to stop for even a moment until Queen Karen was recovered. It was now Saren's job to keep her from sabotaging herself with her own determination. God damn, I need the... General? No, no, I didn't need that either. Okay, I want my... P? Let's be friendly about it, I guess, because joking doesn't really suit me. You will be of no use to your mother running on no sleep. What did you say to me? Speaking freely with his previous mistress and his son got away from him. I'm sorry, Princess. What I meant to say is that I am too exhausted to continue. You? I am used to hard labor, but I was always granted rest at night, by grace of your highness. Superficially, deep down, she was more tired than Saren. I had thought you stronger than this. Lie down, man. I will give you only a few hours. Do not waste them. Getting Loren to stop was enough for Saren, and he decided not to waste his mistress's generosity. He promptly walked over and laid in the grass next to her, but not too close. Saren woke up a few hours later to Loren calling him. He did not see Loren sleep a wink. However, Loren's speed and alertness had improved, letting him know that she might have rested after all. I have seen no population since we left. I was told the Grimoire settlement was on this route. Where is it? Is it past that mountain? Which mountain, mistress? You see, before us, you instructed me to walk straight for it. Princess, that is not a mountain. It is the city of Grimoire. To turn to her servant. That is not a city. It is too large. It is a large walled city like the Citadel. Amazons! Reached for her sword, bristling the thought of competing tribes so close to her home. No! Grimoire is the capital of the Empire, the nation of men. Please, put away your sword. We are not to make war with them. Others can build cities as great as the Citadel? Are you sure of what you speak? Yes, castles can be constructed by any nation with the proper materials. You didn't know that? Loren winced from the insinuation she was not well educated. I know the Amazons are superior to all other nations, so the Citadel is superior to all other castles. Yes, your grace. Saren learned just how sheltered Loren truly was. Even his former mistress knew about the outside world, but then she was allowed to travel outside of the Citadel's walls. Loren was not. He knew then that he would have to take better care of his princess than he had anticipated. You are now being taken to the world map. Locations will appear as they are discovered in the storyline. Sometimes when you travel to a city, you will encounter a random battle. These battles are optional, unlike the battles that are triggered by the storyline. You can also access the camp button on the map. It will take you to your group's campsite so that you may speak with your party members. Getting to know each character is important to the game and may even lead to romance. See what you can find. So we have the Citadel. We've got... what is this? Oh. Huh. Camp. You can talk with your party members. The available dialogue options change based on the main plot. Talking is completely optional, but can unlock romance options or extra quests. Huh. What is this? Okay. Hello. Says Loren tentatively. She looked deep in thought, and it was probably dangerous to disturb her. Nevertheless, he spoke up. Your Highness? Fortunately, Loren gave him a slight nod of acknowledgement, but nothing more. Forgive me for asking, but I do not know much of the situation. Perhaps if you told me more, I could assist you better. What more is there to know? My mother is missing. Yes, but what was the Queen doing to have gone missing? When was the last time you saw her? Loren raised her chin when her eyes blinked rapidly. I can't tell you much of anything. I wish I could, but I can't. My mother was an immensely private person. But you are asking for the facts, and the facts are that my mother, the Queen, was not in her bedchamber one morning, and we have not seen her since. And the scouts? Were you not there? They could not find her. Even though they could track a sparrow through a forest, they could not find their own queen. Loren looked away. Saren was uneasy in the ensuing silence. But we will succeed where the scouts have failed. Absolutely. The conviction brought hope to her. She uttered a sigh. I already knew that. Yes, Your Grace. What even is some of this, like... What is that? What is that? Oh, I see. Well, I'll talk to her. Okay. Let's head for Grimoire, shall we? As they approached Grimoire, the path cut through a wooded area. Loren stopped abruptly and held her arm out to stop Saren. Her expression was serious. Her expression! God damn it! And her voice low. Something isn't right here. They looked around, examining the area for anything out of the ordinary. And then they saw it. Someone was strung up by their feet from a tree limb, head down, with a bag covering their body. The bag writhed. They were still alive. Please, help me! Loren and Saren rushed toward the person, but several little screeching creatures sprang down from the tree. Goblins! Fear shot through Saren as he realized that a battle now was upon them, and that Princess Loren had never fought outside of training. It was up to him to protect the princess. Watch yourself! Same to you! Loren drew her two swords swiftly and hurried to engage the enemies. You do not have to give me any instructions. Saren was surprised to see how swiftly Loren moved as she fought. She started with a vertical slash and moved so quickly that her blade looked like a solid arc of silver. The goblin collapsed to the ground in a bloody mess as she lifted her other sword in a horizontal slash to behead another goblin. She danced between the enemies and evaded their attempts and counterattacked with ease. Saren looked surprised to see how beautifully deadly all of her moves were. Loren impaled another goblin through the heart in one quick stab, retracted her blade, and flicking the blood off the metal with casual ease. She didn't have to stop to catch her breath, nor did she break a sweat in the short battle. You're about to select your battle formation. Right now you only have 2, but later in the game you'll have up to 6. I like this formation the best. Prepare yourself! Welcome to the battle screen. Attack by clicking on enemy portraits or click ally portraits for friendly actions. Hover on the portraits to see detailed information on the left panel. To repeat the last action performed, simply click twice on the portrait. Click on quick help button on the bottom right for a full tutorial. So if I do like this and switch position, use item, life, I want attack! Okay.
They should have surrendered when they had the chance.
I'm getting it. I'm getting this. It's taking me a little bit of time, but I'm getting it.
They should have surrendered when they had the chance.
Oh yeah, this is fun. This is pretty good. It's like, it's a really simple system, but I get it. You know? I like that.
Why are there imbeciles everywhere I go?
Victory! Saren hurried to keep up with her, but the fight was over quickly. Loren kept her swords in hand as she approached the stranger and cut the restraining rope. Saren grimaced, but found some amusement as Loren's obvious lack of concern for the person. The person tumbled down from the tree, groaned, and then squirmed out of the bag, covering him. A lithe blonde man stood up and brushed the dirt from himself. Ah! The ground hurts quite a bit, actually. Who are you? Even though the man's ears were tucked neatly behind his hair, Sarah noticed them sticking out from his disturbed locks. They were pointed. His ears. Are you an elf? Oh, you can tell. He cleared his throat and smiled. Elf on my mother's side, yes. He bowed deeply with unnecessary flourish. Lady and gentlemen, I am Draco Firestarter. And yes, I do start fires. You start fires. Enough of your nonsense. Loren waved her weapons as if he were as much of a threat as the goblins. Was it simply because he was a man? Or had her isolation at the Citadel turned her paranoid? Now, don't get upset. I'm just playing around. Identify yourself now. Your Highness, he just said, I'm surprised you haven't heard of me. I'm the all-power famous Master Fire Magician. He suddenly waved his fingers in front of him and created a brief fireball. He made a sound effect to accompany it and laughed. But his laughter was cut short when Loren kicked him straight in the chest and hurled him back towards the ground. Ah! It was just a demonstration! I meant no harm, honestly! Your Grace, I believe he won't hurt us. God damn it, Loren. You're right, he's too incompetent to do any damage. Incompetent? That's not fair. I'm actually really good with magic, all kinds, but fire's my favorite. My last name is Firestarter, after all. Oh, then how did you get captured so easily by a small group of little goblins if you're so powerful? It was a different group, a bigger group. Goblins as tall as trees. Yes, trees. There were no such things. That's a very convenient excuse. It was! They were accompanied by a very powerful goblin shaman. I couldn't hold out against them all on my own, and the shaman was as big as... Enough of your excuses. You are wasting the princess's time. A princess? I had no idea I was in such great company. Alright, I understand. Princess off limits. You let your guard down no matter how tall the goblin. That's unacceptable. I'm more useful than you may think, lady. Perhaps you would be interested in my services? I wouldn't charge much. No, we're not interested. Not even if I throw in an especially beautiful lady discount? Loren ignored him and walked away. It's your loss then. Bye, I suppose. I'm sure that won't be the last time we see that man. Unfortunately. That's funny. Let's look at camp menu again. And hi. Mistress, what can you tell me of the Citadel? Being the princess, you must hold much more knowledge of it than I. Loren crossed her arm. Of course I do. The Citadel was built stone by the Great Mothers. We were once able to defend our land without it, but fools kept testing the strengths of the Amazons, and so our walls were built. In our fortress we are invincible. The walls of the Citadel are impenetrable, and always well defended. It's held off invasions by every ragtag banner known. You would think some militants would learn to avoid us, but the stability of our mighty home would likely continue to be tested. Such is the way of the world. I sometimes wonder why my mother doesn't send the scouts upon all other empires to conquer them. Ah, friendly. Do you really think the Amazons could take over the entire world? Why not? Well, I believe they are outnumbered, for one. One of our warriors could take on 1,000 of whatever excuse for a warrior anyone else has. I think you would be surprised. I don't think so. A wise ruler would think. We are done with the history lesson. Ah, there's more talking that I could do. Your Majesty, if I may ask, now that we're traveling together, I would like to know what you expect of me. What kind of question is this? Everything I need you for. That's what a servant is for. I see. I'm still your princess, even though I have left the Citadel. Yes, I was not doubting that at all, ma'am. It's only... I'm not used to this type of servitude. I've already told you that your bed tricks are useless to me. Yes, I know! I was hoping you could tell me how best to serve you. I do not have the will or mind to teach you your job. If I say something, do it. All of my slaves stood 5 paces away from me at all times, and they did not look me in the eyes. No, that looks odd when there is only one of you. You may stand closer. Behind me, when I am not addressing you. Ah, yes, thank you, mistress. It was a small victory for him to be allowed more intimacy with Loren. Perhaps when they came to know each other more, Saren could stand with respect next to her. That's so funny. Alright. We're heading out. We did a battle, we had some camp talks, it was good. See y'all next time.
Hey, this is RPGatWill. I hope you liked this episode of Loren the Amazon Princess. If you want to check out some of my other material, you can click on my channel link below, or you can even subscribe if you'd like. I like to do some silly songs on the side, along with my RPG work. If you want to see some more group-oriented stuff, there's another channel called Gaming Idiots TV that I take part in. That's where we do all our group stuff, so I'll provide a link below if you want to check it out there. See you next time.